I don't think I am. I'm a perfectionist with myself, but not necessarily with everybody else. Because there's far too much about me in the newspapers, far too much. It horrifies me when there's something more important, like what goes on in a hospice, or there's been a bomb or something. They'll put me on the front page.
It was meant to be a private talk, but what King Charles said to young Prince Archie has now sparked royal shockwaves worldwide. Many people believed this was a family moment, a chance for King Charles to connect with his grandson. But insiders say the conversation took a sharp turn and it left Meghan and Harry stunned. Some claim it was a gesture of inclusion. Others believe it was a subtle message that Archie may never truly be part of the royal future. So now people are asking, was this a conversation about legacy or rejection? To understand what really went down between the king and his grandson, we need to go back to where the cracks first began.
Happy birthday to you. Archie, you want to come
Oh my.
When Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor was born in May 2019, many expected he would automatically receive the title of Prince. After all, he was the first son of Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and the grandchild of the then heir to the throne, Charles. But that didn't happen. Instead, Archie was styled simply as Master Archie, which raised a lot of questions about his place in the royal line. According to royal protocol laid out in 1917 by King George V, only the children and male line grandchildren of the sovereign are automatically entitled to the titles of prince or princess. That rule meant Archie technically wasn't a prince when he was born because Queen Elizabeth II was still on the throne and Archie was her great-grandson. But here's where it gets complicated. In 2012, Queen Elizabeth made a specific exception for Prince William's children. She issued a new letters patent so that all of William and Kate's children would receive the prince or princess title from birth. This broke from the old rule and gave Charlotte and Louis the same status as George. So naturally, the question came up. If the Queen could make exceptions for William's kids, why didn't she do the same for Archie, especially since Harry was her grandson too? This wasn't just about a ceremonial title. In the royal family, names carry weight. Being a prince means being officially recognized as part of the core monarchy. It signals legitimacy and inclusion. And for Meghan and Harry, the decision to exclude Archie felt personal. Meghan even suggested in interviews that the family had conversations about Archie's skin tone before he was born, further deepening the sense that they weren't being treated equally. The palace insisted that the rules were being followed. But for Harry and Meghan, that explanation didn't seem to match the reality, especially when there was already precedent for bending those same rules. Behind palace walls, this wasn't just about tradition. It was about who gets to be included and who doesn't. But this wasn't just about a name, it was about recognition, legitimacy, and inclusion. And behind palace walls, resentment was building. As the issue over Archie's title simmered, it fed into a larger divide between Prince Harry and his father, King Charles. Their relationship, once close, had become increasingly strained over the years. At the heart of the tension was a difference in values, duty versus personal freedom. Charles has spent his entire life preparing to be king. His worldview revolves around preserving the monarchy, maintaining stability, and following protocol. But Harry, shaped by the trauma of his mother's death and years under a harsh spotlight, began to push back against those traditions. He wanted a life of purpose, but also peace, something he felt the royal family couldn't give him. In 2020, Harry and Meghan made the bombshell decision to step back from their senior royal roles and move to North America. The announcement reportedly blindsided Charles and created deep rifts within the family. To Charles, it looked like betrayal. To Harry and Meghan, it was survival. And the emotional fallout was massive. Harry has said he felt let down by his father, especially when Charles allegedly stopped taking his calls during the split. Meanwhile, Charles was reportedly hurt and confused by Harry's public criticisms, especially in interviews and his memoir. What was once a simple disagreement about roles turned into a personal fracture. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was heartbreak on both sides. Still, even with years of tension between father and son, no one expected King Charles would direct his frustration at his grandson.
Everyone says that babies change so much over 2 weeks. We're basically sort of monitoring how the changing process happens over this next month, really. But his looks are changing every single day. Yeah. So who knows?
Not long ago, during what was supposed to be a calm and private family gathering, possibly during a brief visit or a royal event, tensions rose in a way no one saw coming. According to close sources, a conversation between King Charles and young Prince Archie took a turn that left lasting damage. It was meant to be a light moment. Charles reportedly pulled Archie aside for what seemed like a casual grandfather-grandson chat, but those close to the Sussexes claim that the tone shifted quickly. The king's remarks, though not publicly confirmed, allegedly touched on Archie's future role within the royal family, or more accurately, his lack of one. Details are scarce, but those present say the words didn't sit well with Meghan and Harry. Whatever was said, it was enough to spark visible tension and an immediate shift in the room's energy. Charles may have believed he was speaking from a place of royal duty, perhaps trying to manage expectations or explain the realities of monarchy, but for Harry and Meghan, it felt like something else. A reminder that Archie was still being treated as an outsider. This wasn't just about one awkward exchange. For Meghan and Harry, Archie symbolizes more than a bloodline. He represents the intersection of race, identity, and a break from centuries of royal tradition. His treatment has often felt like a test of whether the monarchy is capable of change, and in that moment, whatever Charles said and however he said it only confirmed their deepest fears that the system wasn't changing, and perhaps never intended to. The emotional fallout after the meeting was immediate. Reports say Meghan was visibly shaken and Harry appeared withdrawn and cold. Any hope of a quiet, reconciliatory visit quickly vanished. Sources close to the Sussexes say the exchange reopened wounds that had never fully healed. And just when the palace tried to downplay it, Meghan stepped in, reminding the world of something she had revealed long ago.
What is right about this time?
Well, so many things that we're on the other side of a lot of life experience that's happened, and also that we have the ability to make our own choices in a way that I couldn't have said yes to you then.
Back in 2021, Meghan Markle sat down with Oprah Winfrey and delivered one of the most talked about interviews in royal history. And at the heart of that conversation was Archie. She revealed that there had been private discussions within the royal family about how dark Archie's skin might be when he was born. The claim shocked viewers around the world. Meghan never named who was involved in those talks, only that it was relayed through Harry. But the impact was immediate. It exposed what many already suspected, that race and image played a central role in how Archie was perceived inside the palace. She also made it clear that Archie was not only denied a title, but also security. And again, she challenged the palace's justification. If the rules could change for other royal children, why not for hers? That wasn't just a technicality. It was a matter of protection and ultimately a matter of worth. The interview hit a nerve. Public reaction was swift, especially in the US, where Meghan and Harry had begun to rebuild their lives. People questioned the institution's values and whether it had any intention of modernizing. For the first time, the monarchy was being seen by many through a different lens, one shaped by issues of race, fairness, and exclusion. And though some palace sources dismissed Meghan's claims or suggested there were misunderstandings, the damage was done. That conversation with Oprah planted the seeds of distrust that still linger today, not only between Meghan and the royal family, but between the public and the institution itself. Those seeds are now full-grown thorns in the side of the monarchy, and it's not just Meghan speaking up.
Look at what has happened in the last 4 years to me, my wife, and my family, right? So that was a very hard decision for me to make, which is how bad is it going to get?
Some people would say that you know, you taking on these high-profile battles, but that actually attracts more attention onto you.
There is more than enough attention on me and my wife anyway. They pushed me too far. It got to a point where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I don't think there's anybody else in the world that is better suited and placed to be able to see this through than myself. It's still dangerous, and all it takes is one lone actor, one person who reads this stuff to act on what they have read. And whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is. And these are things that are a genuine concern for me. It's one of the reasons why I won't bring my wife back to this country.
For Harry, the confrontation wasn't just another argument with his father. It hit at the heart of everything he had tried to protect Archie from: the coldness of the royal institution, the politics, and the rigid traditions that left little space for individuality or compassion. Witnesses say Harry didn't stay silent. When Charles allegedly downplayed Archie's role or future in the family, Harry reportedly pushed back, not as a prince defending protocol, but as a father defending his son's dignity. He's seen the toll the system took on his own mental health growing up, and now he's drawing the line. To Harry, this isn't about stepping back from duty anymore. It's about stepping up for his child. The prince who once followed royal rules without question is gone. In his place is a man who's made it clear if the institution can't embrace his family fully, then it's the institution that needs to change, not them. Harry's no longer just a prince. He's a dad with something to prove. But while Harry was making his stand behind closed doors, the outside world was already hearing whispers. Fragments of the confrontation started surfacing, subtle leaks through royal insiders, carefully worded media pieces, and veiled remarks during interviews. Suddenly, the royal family wasn't just dealing with private tensions, they were facing another public crisis. The story reignited debates that have hovered over the monarchy for years. Is the institution too rigid, too resistant to change, and is race still quietly influencing decisions at the highest levels? Supporters of Harry and Meghan saw the reports as proof that their concerns had always been valid. Many praise Harry for standing up not just to his father, but to a system that rarely budges. At the same time, royal loyalists defended Charles, arguing he was protecting centuries-old tradition. But even among traditional royal supporters, something shifted. The idea that a grandfather could be so cold or formal with his own grandson didn't sit right. Charles's image, carefully reshaped over the years since Diana's death, started to crack again. And in the middle of all this is a young boy who never asked for any of it. Archie isn't just a symbol now, he's a child growing up in the spotlight of royal conflict. The question that remains isn't just about titles or family drama. It's bigger than that. Was King Charles out of line or just trying to preserve tradition? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more royalty